Hello, my darling, and welcome to day 8 of the 100 Days of Self-Love Challenge. As always, if you'd like any worksheets or notifications that go along with this challenge, you can sign up on the link below, which is www.100daysofselflove.com. So today we're talking all about how other people talk to you. Yesterday and the last few days, we've been kind of talking about how we talk to ourselves, talking to ourselves with more kindness, talking to ourselves with compassion. And now we need to look at actually how we allow or how we permit, how we allow other people to talk to us, but who's talking to us in what kind of way. Jim Rohn is very famous for saying you're the average of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. Is that true? Actually, it kind of is, in that we adopt habits of those who are surrounding us. So, for example, if you live in a house full of people who go to sleep very late and wake up very late, you're unlikely to be going to bed very early and waking up very early. It'd be incredibly difficult. If you hang out with people who are all concerned about their health and their well-being and go, do a lot of sport and eat properly, you're unlikely to be the kind of person that binge eats and sits and watch Netflix, for example. No judgment there, by the way. I'm not the person that exercises. I do yoga and horse riding, but I don't do gym and what have you. So the point is that we do pick up people's habits. We do pick up their speech patterns. I say to people a lot, does that make sense? And one of my younger daughters, she says it all the time, does that make sense? I'm like, yes, it makes sense, Jenna. And because she says it literally at the end of every sentence, like other people would use a full stop, Jenna uses, does that make sense? And it's because people pick up on all these things about you. However, there is a more important aspect of those people that you spend your time with, and that is paying attention to how people make you feel about being you. So my ex-husband, for example, was very good at saying to me, making me feel weird, making me kind of shaming me a lot, making me feel like I'm abnormal, like there's something wrong with me. Now, in reality, I do have a neurodivergent brain, but I'm also, funny and kind and clever and all those kind of things as well, right? We have to love all of ourselves. So I call it being flawsome, and we'll do a video on that in this series, but it's about loving all of you, not just the most desirable bits or the bits that other people think are okay. But when somebody is constantly making you feel bad for being you, that carries on highlighting your flaws, that makes you feel that you're weird, that you're different, that you're not really very welcome. That some of it's gaslighting. If you're surrounded by anybody who has narcissistic tendencies, they quite often will make you feel like they're the only person that could love you. So you kind of need to be grateful that they are loving you, which is a bit weird. And narcissism is a whole other program and video, to be fair. But also it's things that are more subtle, like, for example, you've been working on your development, you've been working on letting things go, you've been working on, leveling up in your personal development terms, and just making sure that you bless and release anger, you don't concentrate on things that you can't control, etc. And somebody keeps trying to bring you back down and reminds you of all the times that you did lose your temper, or you used to react like this, and kind of keeps trying to pull you back to make you play small almost, so that they can keep you in a nice little tight box. And we have to be careful of this. So, for example, I hate gossip. I don't like to talk about people behind their backs. Mainly because, and I'm telling the truth, mainly because it makes me just feel bad about myself. Like, I don't enjoy, I'm not into, it makes me feel so guilty and I feel ashamed of myself straight away. So I call it McDonald's for the soul. Gossiping. It kind of is almost addictive. You'd like to have it every day. It smells good. You think it's going to be good. You eat it. It tastes nice at the time. And then straight away afterwards, you feel like ick. That's what gossiping does for you. And there's some friends that I used to have, for example, that we'd go out for coffee and they would sit and gossip the whole time we were there. And it's really hard not to be brought into gossip, because people ask your opinion, people ask you to retell a story about something that happened regarding that person. And so you get dragged into negative behaviors, negative thinking. But also and I think this is the most important bit, is realizing that some people just make you feel like it's not okay to be you, that there's something wrong with you, there's something less than about you. So as always, example from my own life. So obviously being neurodivergent and having difficulty concentrating. So when I call them squirrels, my ADHD, I call them squirrels. So I go off on a squirrel, and it runs off and chases a shiny nut, something over there. But my ex would always make me feel like, that I'm like skittish or ditzy. I'm not ditzy. I'm very far from ditzy. But do you know what I mean? Like, he would take what he knew about me and use it against me to make me feel bad. And you'll find that there are quite a few people in your life that may do that make you just feel like, it's like those mums. Oh, mums. No offense, but mums are the worst. Those mums at the school gate and they go, "Oh, your child's going on the trip. I saw that you chose the packed lunch from school." Yeah. Well, I wouldn't really let my kids eat that because, and then they proceed to tell you how their kid is vegan, gluten-free, or only eats organic, whatever, and makes you feel bad about the fact that you're just going, yeah, great, give them a lunch. Are you with me? So there's always somebody that's very, very critical. So what can you do about this? I mean, to be fair, sorry, going back to squirrels, but to be fair, I was always the mum, because I was a single mum for most of my, for years and years and years. And, if somebody offered me the choice between me sending a packed lunch and had packed lunch been given to them, I'm going to choose the packed lunch being given to them, because I'm not rich on time. I was working and juggling 3 kids and what have you. And so to be made to feel bad that you're not the kind of mum that's always on it. Like, I always used to forget, school sends a gazillion emails, right? So I basically got my kids to tell me when there was an important email coming out. And other people would, go, "Oh, you didn't see it. Do you not check your emails?" These people are just they just exhaust you and they drain you, and they just, whenever you feel like, "Oh, great, I'm finally getting my shit together," they drag you back down again. So what can you do? Well, my best advice is to do a people audit, to just pay attention to how people make you feel about yourself and about life in general. And then just have a look at these people. Now, some people, it will be difficult to exclude them completely from your life, because when we look at people that drain our energy, we've got 2 choices. We can either limit their exposure to us, or we can limit their impact on us. So if it's your mum, for example, you may not be in a place to just say, "Right, I'm done with you, I'm cutting you out of my life." But then you have to protect yourself, and you have to work on your resilience and your grounding in order to bounce back, or to put barriers up between you and her comments. But when it comes to things like mums at the school gate, friendships, if these people are draining you and they are making you feel bad about being you, it's a question of figuring out, how do I remove these people from my life? I don't want them to have this effect on me anymore. And just to do a complete audit and think, this person it doesn't serve, being around this person doesn't serve me. Being around this person is actually detrimental to my opinion of myself, my self-esteem, my self-worth, how I view myself and my position in the world. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope that's useful to you. Come back tomorrow to see day 9. And as always, if you want to know anything more about my coaching, my services, the journals, books, shop stuff, everything else, you can just head to www.kategrosvenor.com. Take care, my lovely, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.